All right, guys. I got the idea for this one from another video I saw recently on YouTube. This one is going to be the mistakes I see general physical preparedness or GPP athletes make. And I say that instead of CrossFit athletes because I think this envelops even a larger group than that. GPP is what CrossFit was before there was CrossFit. General physical preparedness is when you work out to be generally fit for life. And so that encompasses all the kind of stuff we do. There were people working out like we do in CrossFit. They were just few and far between and much more in Europe than here back in the day. But GPP, general physical preparedness, is the godfather, is the father of CrossFit. And so that's why I'm using that term. The mistakes GPP athletes make. And there's going to be a list of 10 of these. I'm going to go over the first 5 today. And I'm going to call these first 5 the rookie mistakes. That doesn't mean only rookies make them. But it's mistakes I see a lot of newer people into CrossFit, into GPP make. And so that's why I'm titling this. The second 5 is going to be the quitter's mistakes. And I'll get into that next time. And basically, if I can sum this up, this is the problem of being human, if I can say that. Whatever we do, you'll hear me use this phrase if you hear me talk for very long, is wherever you go, there you are. And the point of that being that we create our own issues. Whenever I hear from somebody, again, I always end up dating the crazy girls, or, I always end up in this kind of a situation in life. That's not life happening to you. That's you happening to life. That is something you are doing. And so I bring these up because these are common things I see us as exercisers do fairly often, and I want to kind of point them out. So the first one, skipping, cherry picking. You guys all know what I'm talking about. Not doing the workout that you don't want to do for whatever reason. And there can be several reasons. It can be like today, where I can do all the RX Plus stuff except the double unders, and I'm frustrated on that, so I'm just not going to go because I don't want to I could do RX Plus, but I can't do double unders, so I'm not going to go. So it can be something I can't do. It can be something I shouldn't do. There's an RX option, but it includes handstand push-ups. I shouldn't be doing handstand push-ups. So I'm not going to go because I'm not willing to scale. Or it can be, when I want to subconsciously, when I want for you guys to kind of, on my own without telling everybody, program a day off. I'll just program a really long run, and I know our attendance is going to drop by 50% that day. But in life in general, guys, and you've probably heard me say this before, facing the stuff you don't want to face is where the biggest opportunity for growth is for you as a person. If it's, I don't like to face finances, then it is learning the nuts and bolts of finances is how you're going to grow as an individual. If it is, I don't know how to handle the relationship with my parents, so I'm just going to ignore it. Delving into that and figuring out why the relationship is the way it is and what you can do about it is going to make you a better person. If it's why certain people don't like me, you figuring out why certain kinds of people don't like you is where the biggest opportunity for growth is. That is the same with workouts, guys. We all know that it is the workouts I don't want to do where the biggest opportunity for growth is. And beyond even the physical benefits, the mental and just benefits for you growing as an individual by going to do what you'd rather not do are immense. And so I like pointing this out because we do it without thinking about it, and I want you to face it. I want you to say out loud to yourself, I'm not going to go do this workout today because I'm frustrated that I don't have double unders, or because I don't want to scale, or because I hate running. Now maybe it is I shouldn't be jumping because it's hard for my knees or something like that. Okay, fine. Be willing to go scale and do step ups or do whatever else it may be. But those days that we miss for no other reason are some of the most important days we need to make. And you're never going to be perfect with that, but the more you can minimize those, the more fit you're going to be, and the more you're going to grow as an individual. Second one, gear dependent. I've mentioned this before, but becoming Batman. Guys, I have the belt, the grips, the wrist wraps, the knee sleeves. I take my pre-workout. I have my special chalk. I have my special tape. Guys, you aren't going to be able to gear up for life. We're doing this to be fit for life, and you're not going to be able to gear up for the activities and tasks life throws at you. There is a place for all of those things. None of those things are bad. But if you just can't, if you're just automatically putting on your knee sleeves every day, or you're automatically strapping on the belt anytime you touch a barbell, then you are more dependent on that. And I want you to think, why am I using this piece of equipment? What purpose does it serve for today? And just trying to minimize that. I use equipment too. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying keep it to a minimum and use it when it is necessary for whatever reason. And when it is not, don't use it. Because again, what we're training for is the sport of life, is being better at life, and you're not going to be geared up. When life comes at you, you're not going to be able to slide on your knee sleeve and strap on your belt and put on your grips and headband. All right, let's go, life. That's not going to happen. You're just going to have to handle it. And so use that stuff as tools in certain times to make your workout more efficient, or to help you come tomorrow so you're not going to be as sore. Yes, to prevent injury. Whatever the case may be, I know I'm going to do 100 pull-ups during Murph. I'm going to wear the grips so I can come work out tomorrow. There's a place for that. But when I just put on the grips anytime I'm going to jump on the bar, I think that's too much with that. All right, so that's the second one. Third one. Guys, this is quick, but buy a jump rope. Buy 2 less drinks this weekend. Buy 1 less pair of socks. Buy the drinks and the socks, and still buy the jump rope. You can afford it. Everybody, if you're just like, nope, I'm not going to learn how to jump rope. Okay, fine. Again, this goes back to my first point of cherry picking. You're just not facing that weakness. Like, I'm not going to get better at this. But whether it's even for double unders, or get a crossover rope, get a heavy rope. But a jump rope is something that is very tailored to you. And you will get a better workout when you have your own jump rope. So if you're going to be working out for an extended period of time, buy 1 less pair of shoes. If you have shoes, if you have grips, if you have knee sleeves, if you have a belt, if you have any of that, then you're working out enough and you're serious enough that you should also have the jump rope. There's just so much benefit, and there's so much meat left on the bone by just using random jump ropes all the time. That's just not necessary. You're missing a big piece of the pie that you could have. And I've preached on this before, and I will probably do so in the future. All right, guys, so that's 3. The fourth one, this one's a little juicy. This will take a minute. Getting too externally focused with our workouts and letting that affect our workouts, and or the competition bug. And I've talked about this before too. You'll hear about it. But there's 2 types on this. First of all, guys, when I hear people say I'm not competitive, I think everybody is competitive. They just haven't tapped into it. Some people haven't tapped into it. And there's levels. I mean, there's Michael Jordan, if he's playing Candyland with his niece and nephew, he's going to crush them. There's that level of competition. We're not all there. And so there's degrees within this. But I guarantee all of us in the right situation become competitive, because I've seen it happen to everybody. It's just, for a lot of people, the opportunity has never presented itself, because it is easy. How do I say it? None of us like to lose. Like, we don't. And if there's something you're going to go do, if I'm going to go golf, I'm going to golf for fun, because I suck at golf. I can't even be competitive no matter how hard I try. And so I think that becomes the I'm going to do this for fun thing, because we can't even be close to competitive at it. So we're just going to go do it for fun. And that's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But in the right situation, it is fun to win. It is fun to do good. And that is going to be turned on in you as a human in the right situation. And I'll say there's 2 types of people that come into CrossFit. The people that come in who are already from a competitive background and say so I'm dealing with them, they already view this as a sport. And in a sport, you cut every corner you can within the rules to get the maximum output from yourself. And that's smart in sport. What we're doing is exercising and training. You're competing, and I've mentioned this before, you're trying to have your future self beat your current self. That's what you're trying to do when you compete internally. I'm setting my future self up to beat this me today. So the more you can focus that competition on you individually rather than out, the more you're going to understand what it means to train competitively when you're exercising, not competing in a sport. When we do the open or when you're at a CrossFit event, yeah, you cut every corner you can. You do singles on pull-ups because you know you'll go faster over time. You do singles on power cleans because you know you'll go faster over time. When you're exercising, and I just mentioned this last week, you go touch and go, or you do as many pull-ups as you can because you get a better training effect. So there's the one type of person. Then there's the other who comes in who's never been competitive. For whatever reason, they haven't had much experience with that. Then they do CrossFit, or they exercise long enough that suddenly they can be competitive with a certain group. Whatever, I can be the top in the scale division. I can be the top on this workout in RX, or I can beat everybody in this class, or I can beat this girl from the 830 class. And suddenly I see the competitive juices get turned on. And you know how I see it get turned on? The form on their kettlebell swings degrades. The form on their push-ups degrades. Suddenly they're not getting low enough on their air squats when I know they can, but they're trying to go faster. And that tells me, yep, the competitive juices just got turned on in that individual. And I like seeing that. That's not a bad thing, but now it needs to be controlled. Because now you're letting those competitive juices be, again, too externally focused, and it's making you get a worse workout. So it's going to slow down your progress. And that's where, as a coach, I have to deal with this and kind of bring it to someone's attention. Hey, I know you could do those kettlebell swings better, but you're doing that because you're trying to go faster because you want to beat so-and-so, or you know you could potentially be close to the top of the leaderboard on this one, and man, I'm going to make sure I do it today. Again, I love the competitive juices. This is the nature of being human. But no, do the swings right and set your future self up to beat this one. It is a battle we will fight as long as we exercise. It is a battle that we fight forever during this. We're never going to get it right. But again, I'm saying this to bring it to your attention because I see it happen all the time, and then you can see it happen in yourself and know, wait, what am I doing today? Am I trying to win short term? Because that's very gratifying. It's easier to get the short-term gratification of I was where I wanted to be on the leaderboard instead of the long-term gratification of knowing that at 50, I'm going to be able to do everything I could do at 40. Knowing at 60 that I'm going to be able to think everything I could do at 50. That sounds great, but it's not. It doesn't feel as sweet I get in the short term as the fact that, man, I was top in the scale division today. So we'll never perfect that. But it's something, as a coach, I try to regulate because it's where I can add value. And you for yourself, when you realize, why am I not getting low enough in these squats? Well, it's because I'm going faster because I want to get the best time. Or do I want to get the best workout? All right. And then the last one for today. How do I say this? Taking PRs for granted and or you will not PR forever. Guys, when you come into this, whether it's from another fitness background or it's from no fitness background, once you've done this good enough to kind of know what you're doing, then the good times start. And every time we do a heavy lift or every time we do a repeat workout, you crush your old time. We do a set of 5 on deadlift. Man, I just did 5 reps with a heavier weight that I did a 1 rep max with 6 months ago. Isn't that awesome? It is awesome. That always ends. And it doesn't mean you're doing worse. It means you've actually arrived. It means it did work. That you're close to your body's true potential from a fitness perspective. So getting to the point where PRs are few and far between and hard to come by, yeah, it means you've arrived. You're no longer the newbie. You're no longer the rookie. You're the grizzled veteran. You've been doing this long enough that you have gotten close to tapping into what your body is truly capable of from a physical perspective. And that's awesome. It worked. Guys, for me, PRs are few and far between. Getting to 90% of most of my PRs is a big win for me. I don't think it's because I'm getting worse. I'm getting older. I've been doing this a long time, and I did it well enough that I got pretty close to maximizing what my body was capable of on most of the things we do in CrossFit. And I feel really good about that. And there's a satisfaction that comes from, a really nice satisfaction that comes from knowing I've been doing this so long that I've kind of aged out of certain things. And now I'm an older athlete. I'm going to get close to some of those things, and that's really sweet to me. But it doesn't mean I'm failing, I'm getting worse. No, I'm staying about as good as I can stay from a physical fitness perspective. And it is fun to still be able to beat 20-year-olds occasionally too. But For you as an individual, when suddenly, man, I haven't PR'd in 6 months. How long have you been doing this for? 5 years now, 10 years. Yeah. It's going to be few and far between that you get the PRs, and that's not bad. That's actually really good. You're an experienced athlete. You trained the right way. And now your body is pretty close to what it's capable of in different departments, strength, endurance, whatever the case may be. All right, guys, so those are the first 5 of mistakes I see from GPP athletes. And again, previewing for next week, right before we go to the river, the quitters' mistakes. Right on.